Welcome back. If you haven't seen me before, heard about me, my name is Sasha. I'm from Australia, and this channel we're talking about finance, lifestyle and faith. And today, as you will have seen from the title, I want to talk about my goals for 2025, mostly my financial goals, because that's what I'm sort of focusing on at the moment. But I would also like to share a couple of my other goals that I have for this year. So I have my notes here on my phone in front of me, and first I just wanted to share what I've been using through 2024 to try to track my daily goals, my daily tasks, to keep me motivated. And it is an app called Finch. This is not sponsored. I just use the free version, but it's really helped me. It's like if you love lists and ticking things off, this is one of those apps. And yeah, this is what it looks like anyway. And then you've got tasks, and you tick off your task. So that's what I've been using for my daily goals. So you set them, you can set the frequency, you know, it's like a list app, and it gives you little rewards and helps your bird grow. And it's called Finch for the little bird. But anyway, so that's what I use for my daily goals. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I want to see goal-wise this year, mostly financial. I'm rambling, and that's okay. So for my financial goals, so on my list, so it is financial goals for 1 to 9 years. So specifically for 2025, this is what I would like to achieve financially. So my big financial goal for this year is to pay down my home loan, and I would like to pay it down, let me just do the maths, about $15,000 this year. So that is my goal. So I've sort of started this month in December 2024, but so by the end of December 2025, I want my home loan to be $15,000 less than what it is now, which is really ambitious. That's way more than I did last year. But you know, I'm positive about it. I'm hopeful. I'm praying about it, and yeah, I'm hoping God's going to do some things in my life, and I'm hoping I'm going to take control and be responsible with my finances, be a good steward, and make this a priority. So what I've done is I have my minimum monthly payments. They're set and forget. And if you watch my last video, I talked about how I've set the minimum payments higher than the minimum for the bank. So they are set at a higher level, so that automatically I am paying off more and faster than the bank normally would have me pay off. The other thing I'm doing is my extra income is mostly going towards that. So any extra income will be going towards my mortgage. And the big thing I've done is I've done a huge budget for all of 2025. So I've done like an estimated budget for every month, and then I've set up different spreadsheets for each month with the actual expenditure, and then I'm going to compare those two. So I have tried to budget in for the majority of that $15,000. Not all of it fit in my budget exactly, and I didn't want to fully budget all of my income because, you know, there's unexpected things that happen, which is what the emergency fund is for, and I'm going to get to that. So currently I do have an emergency fund funded for 3 months, which is great. Like, I know that's more than a lot of people have, but ideally I want to get that to 6 months. And just because of my current expenses and my rate of living and the mortgage payments and everything, that emergency fund figure is way higher than I would like it to be, but we're working on our expenses, so hopefully that will go down. But yeah, so what I would like to do for my emergency fund by the end of 2025 is to get that to $30,000. So that's not a lot much more than what's already in there. I'm going to try to save more aggressively into that account, but priority one will be trying to pay down my mortgage, because that's what I'm focusing on for 2025. I know you should have your emergency fund first, but whatever, the interest rate is so high on my mortgage. I just want to pay some of that down. So mortgage, priority number 1 for finances. Priority number 2, my emergency fund. And then priority number 3 is I've got a few different savings goals. So I have like a separate account in a different bank with a really high savings yield interest rate. So that's in a separate bank to my normal everyday bank, so I don't see that as visually clearly, but I would like to get that. I call it my rainy day fund, so it's not my emergency fund, it's just a separate bank account, separate bank, which is possibly caused from that nervousness about the fraudulent transactions that happened on my account in 2023. If you watched my last video, I talked about that a bit. Yeah, so I've got a whole separate bank and bank account set up with my rainy day fund, and I want to get that to $2,500 by the end of 2025, which is maybe ambitious with all of my other financial goals, but I don't know, like I want to dream a little bit bigger than maybe is reality, and if I don't make it, that's okay, but I'm going to try really hard to get there. And then the other so then I've got some other savings buckets that I've set up in a purely online bank, so they don't have any branches or anything, but they offer really competitive interest rates and they don't have any fees. So I've set up with that financial institution now. So I've swapped over that for my daily spending, so groceries, petrol, parking, just some of those everyday expenses will be into that new bank account. And then in there you can set up savings funds and they don't penalize you for withdrawing. So if I deposit $500 a month into that bank, any of my accounts, I will get the bonus interest high yield savings rate. So in that bank account, I know it sounds crazy, like why do you have, I actually have 4 different banking institutions because my mortgage is with a different financial company. This is not how I want to live my life, but we'll sort that out in 2026, okay? But yeah, so in this new online banking account, I've actually set up different savings funds, and there's no fees, and I'm not penalized for having extra accounts. So I've set them up as buckets to save towards so that I can spend. So my car is now, how old is it? 4 years old? It's almost 4 years old. So I want to start saving towards that. So I want to start saving. I know it needs new tires soon. It needs a service soon in a couple of months. And then I want to start slowly building up to save for a new car. Hopefully that's not for at least another 6 years. That would be the goal, to have this car for at least 10 years. It's a hybrid. I love it. But yeah, so hybrid batteries, we don't know what's going to happen with them. How long are they going to last? How expensive are they going to be to replace? But I just want to set up, I just want to start in that car fund savings for all of those things. So in case of emergency for the car, for that service, for new tires, and for that broader goal, which is hopefully 6 years away, to purchase a new car. I don't want to go into finance again for my next car. So that would be my goal, is to save up enough money to purchase a new car outright. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Hopefully I can do very little finance to no finance. My dream would be no finance. But so those are the 3 savings. Actually, okay, so that's one of the saving funds I've set up, is for that, what I'm calling car fund. The other fund I've set up is for a new phone. So hopefully this one keeps lasting me at least another year, maybe 2. New iPhones don't really last that long, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm just started a little fund for that, and I'm hoping to gradually save up enough money to be able to purchase my next phone outright as well. I don't want to finance my next phone. And then the 3rd fund is for travel. So every year there's sort of there's 2 compulsory travel things that I need to do every year. So one is to go to a Ministers and Leaders Conference, so that is in the middle of the year. Sometimes there is a national camp on too for ladies, so I'm in, I help out with the ladies department in our church. So I'd like to go to the National Ladies Department conference. And so there's normally something mid-year that's about $600 to $800 worth of travel expenses. And then at the end of the year, so end of December, January, is our national conference, and I need to go to the AGM every year for that. I could miss a year, but it's a really great, I love going to the national conference. So those are my 2 travel goals every year. Sometimes I have extra travel as well, but so those are the 2 that I know I need to save up for every year. And the December, January travel is very expensive, as you can imagine, you know, flying out around Christmas, New Year's and back early January, you know, flights aren't cheap, accommodation's expensive, eating out costs a lot, but I'm going to try to, I've got a little kitchenette in my apartment for this year, so I'm going to try to not eat out for 3 meals a day every day, because that's going to take a huge chunk of my January expenses. But yeah, so those are the 2 travels I know I need to save up for every year. So I've got that other savings fund. So that's my 3rd savings fund. So, sorry, my 4th. We've got rainy day, we've got new phone, car fund, and travel fund. So those are what I've got set up. The rainy day fund I have set on automatic payments every month. So 1 payment a month into that account to hit my goal at the end of the year. And I've budgeted that in. The other 3 savings accounts, I haven't specifically budgeted out for each month. But because I've done my whole 12 month budget, I know some months I should have extra cash, and some of that I will put towards my home loan, and some of that towards my emergency fund, and any leftover little bit will go towards these the other 3 savings account that I don't have automatic transfers set up to yet. So currently I do have a travel fund set up with my current bank, and it was on a promotional really high interest rate savings. You could deposit in anything and take out, and there was no penalties, but that is ending in January. So the automatic transfers I have going into that account, I will divert into the 3 other savings accounts when that high interest rate ends. It's about mid to late January. So February I will do that. We can talk about that in February and my February update. Yeah, so those are my financial goals for 2025 specifically. And then I also would love to do a bit more in investing. So in Australia we have something set up called superannuation. So that is our retirement, like self-funded retirement investing fund. I think it's similar to like what do you call those, like a Roth IRA or an IRA or a 401k, whatever Americans use. I should know, half my family's American, but I don't. But that's what we have set up in Australia. So as an employee, you make mandatory contributions pre-tax, and your employer also makes contributions as well. So I'm really lucky and blessed at the moment. So my employer makes, I think it's about a 12% of my fortnightly pay. They will pay on top of, they will pay 12% on top into my superannuation fund, and I think mine is set, my contributions are set at maybe 5%. So I've almost got 18% going into my retirement fund for investing, which is great. I'm super happy. Like, I never used to worry about superannuation. I'm not really sure why, like, not in a morose way, but I sort of never really thought about retirement. Like, when you're young, like, it seems so far away, and now I'm in my 30s and I'm like, oh, like, I may need retirement money, I may need to retire, I may need to live off of some kind of money. So I started looking at it in my financial journey, which is what we're calling this, and I started looking at it, and I was like actually quite happy with the balance. I don't know if it's where it should be at. It's maybe a bit low, but I'm hoping it's going to compound and increase. But yeah, so I'm quite happy because the contributions going in, like I said, are about 18% of my income. Seems great. It's a little bit low, like 20% would be ideal. So yeah, so I would like to do some investing on my own. I have almost nothing in investing. I did do a little bit of investing in 2024. And then what I would like to do this year is a little bit of investing. I don't want it to stop to nothing. But as I said, my financial goals are mortgage, emergency fund, and then those 4 different savings, like sinking funds. So there's not a lot left for investing when we look at all those things. But I've got set myself some mini little goals. So I want to, for 3 months, I want to set aside $38 each month for investing. Just really a small amount. It should fit into my budget. I've tried to factor it into my budget. And then I would like to do 2 lots of $200 throughout 2025. So I've tried to set those investing goals really small because I'm already investing, like not even me, like me and my employer are investing 18% into that retirement investing fund. So I don't want to go crazy with investing, but I just want to be doing something. Like I don't want my money to be doing nothing. And I think that's one of the biggest thing I've learned in this last year is look at the interest rates on your high yield savings account. Look at, if you've already got multiple banks that you're dealing with, check their high interest rate savings, high yield savings accounts. Do they offer a better interest rate? And if so, you know, maybe you should think about setting up a high yield savings account with them. So that's what I did this year. One of my bank accounts offered a promotional high yield savings account for 6 months. So that's the one ending in middle of January. I took that up and I put my travel fund in there and high yield savings. But yeah, just have a look around. Just really like look at your money and look at your expenditure and look where it's going. Yeah, so I've set myself a budget. I've done 12 months of budgeting. I've tested it through December, so I set up that spreadsheet with the expected budget versus actuals, and I've been tracking all my actuals all month, which is like, I think I'm too hyper focused on it. I maybe need to step back. But this is my first month of budgeting with a spreadsheet and numbers, and it's really like in depth and detail. Like I didn't launch from nothing to everything. It's been a few months in a journey, but yeah, like now I'm like it's a full budget. I'm trying to stick to it. I'm trying to make sure I don't overspend. But I'm also trying to give myself grace. Like if I do overspend 1 month, you know, it's going to be okay. Don't let it be the end of the world. Don't fall off the wagon. Just keep going, keep trying. Just try to be consistent. Yeah, so those are my financial goals for 2025. I'm just having a look through my list. What they are. Yeah, so that's for financial goals for 2025. And then a few of my other goals. So one of the big things I noticed when I did that huge expense dump and all my transactions, which I talked about in my last video, what I noticed was last year I'd spent about $1,000 on art supplies. So that's one of my main hobbies. I'm really creative. So I had spent about $1,000 on art supplies, and last year I did hardly any art for a number of reasons. Last year was crazy, but I feel like really guilty when I do art, and there's other things to do, even though I know it's really good for me mentally and spiritually. I often do like scripture art, doodles and paintings, so I know it's really good for me, but I sort of get like a little bit of like I feel bad. I make myself feel bad if I want to do art and there's other things to do and I prioritize doing art. So I want to try to overcome that this year. I've already started trying to use my art supplies and actually have like a day off and have a bit of a rest and do some art, do something creative, not just like mind rot, scroll on YouTube watching finance videos for hours or podcasts on sermons. You know, like there's so many ways to easily waste time or use time, and I want to prioritize on my art, and I don't need to buy any more art supplies because I've purchased an obscene amount that I haven't used. So that's what I want to do this year. I want to be more creative in my art and not buy more art supplies unless it's like something I really need to replace. But there shouldn't be like, it's embarrassing to say, like, I've spent $1,000 on art supplies, and then if you said where's the art, like, I could only show you a few things that I made. So yeah, so in that's this app that I use to track my daily goals. So I have one in there every day called Sketch Something, and I'm going to try to hit that goal more regularly. The other thing I have been working on, it's been like the end of 2024 has been like a different year for me. I don't know. So last year actually had sort of a couple of health scares. So I had really bad, weird abdominal pain for a couple of months. So I wasn't going to the gym. I was scared to do any leg exercises or squatting or hip thrusts or anything, because like this abdominal pain was really bad, and I was worried, you know, is this a hernia? Like, is something going to rupture if I go too hard at the gym? So I stopped going to the gym. I was still doing light walking workouts, and then after that, when my abdominal pain went away, which I believe God healed me of, we had the church pray for me, and yeah, that pain went away. And I've been trying to get tests. I've been trying to get a CT scan for 2 months now. There's a place here that does fully bulk billed, so you don't have to pay anything out of pocket. But I've been trying, I think I've tried about 4 times to get an appointment. I haven't even gotten a call back to get an appointment. But anyway, the abdominal pain's not there anymore, so yay. But after that, after the abdominal pain went away, I actually broke my little toe. I believe I broke it. I kicked it really hard. My whole foot turned black and blue, and my little toe is now not the same shape it used to be, and it was really sore for about 6 weeks. I can only now just wear enclosed-in shoes, and it's good. But yeah, I've been having a great time with my health. But in the midst of that, I have started going back to the gym regularly, and I want to keep that going through 2025. So at minimum, I want to go 2 times a week to the gym, ideally 3 or 4. So I have set days. I've got set days booked into my app to reach those financial goals. And I have a step goal set that I try to meet often, even if I don't go to the gym. And yeah, so that's just one of my health goals, is gym 2 to 4 times a week. And the other fitness goal, or I guess it's a health goal, it's not really a fitness goal. I've been doing what's called the 30 plant challenge. So it's not about being vegan or vegetarianism or anything like that. It's about introducing plant variety to your diet. And I've been doing this now since, actually I can look it up. I think for at least 2 months now. Plant, let me see. Since October, actually. Okay, so since October, the first week was really hard, actually, trying to introduce and eat 30 different types of plants in 1 week. It was like an adjustment, but since then I've been able to hit it almost every week. So that is one of my goals that I've got, and that I track, and I track. Can you see that? I don't know. I track the plants that I eat every week whenever I eat them, and I try to hit 30 different plants a week. It's a thing. But yeah, I just wanted to feel more healthy. I wanted to have that variety of nutrients, and yeah, it's been going good. I feel great. And part of that health journey, I went to the doctor, and in October also, and my cholesterol was high, which is not great in your early 30s, and my iron was almost anemic. So I'm on high iron supplements at the moment, and I have cut out a lot of fast food that I was eating, which is great because that aligns with my financial goals to cut back on my dining out expenses. So yeah, I'm just trying to balance things. I've set some goals, I've set some budgets. So that's health, fitness, financial, and then spiritual. So this year, so in mid-2023, I started reading the NLT Bible, and I was trying to read that through in 1 year, and I did not quite get there. It's probably been, how long has it been? About 1.5 years. I'm almost through the NLT Bible, but I want to finish that in the next few days before 2025, and then I want to start reading the NIV Bible. So that will be my goal through 2025, will be to read the Bible in the NIV translation. I just saw one of the preachers in America, this is what they do. They read a different translation of the Bible every year. I normally just read King James Version, and I've read that through a few times. But yeah, so at the moment I'm trying to finish off the NLT madly before the end of this year, and then yeah, hoping to start on the NIV in 2025. And I might do a video on how I read through the Bible and I create low pressure for myself, and how I track it, because I've got an app that tracks that as well, of course. But yeah, so that's one of my spiritual goals for 2025, is to read the NIV. And of course I've got prayer goals set in my daily tracker, so I want to be praying more. Anyway, maybe that's another video too. I want to be praying more, and I'm not really sure how to get to that next level in prayer, get out of some sort of being in a prayer rut, if that's a thing. I don't want to be there anymore. Anyway, but crazily reading the NLT to finish off by the end of this year has really helped me. Like at one point there I was reading 8 chapters a day, and I just found my mental health, my spiritual health was just so much better on the days I was reading eight whole chapters. And 8 chapters is a lot and it takes a while. Yeah, so I don't know if I will be continuing that, but I just know like filling myself with the word helps in all areas of my spiritual life. So yeah, that's my my solid goal for 2025, is to read the NIV and then work on my prayer life somehow, and yeah, just continue to serve in my local church. So I teach Sunday school, sometimes I preach, like minister / teach, sometimes I worship lead. So yeah, I just want to continue serving God and trying to help people. Maybe it would be nice to do a Bible study with someone this year. I did start with someone last year, but we didn't. We did quite a few months, but we didn't make it through the year. But yeah, so just some of those spiritual goals I'm still working out. So I've done financial, creative, health, fitness, spiritual. Yeah, I don't know. Those are my goals for 2025. I've been loving these types of videos, so I hope you've enjoyed this too, about what I'm trying to achieve for 2025. We'll see in December how I've gone against these goals that I've got, and yeah, where I've been. Maybe we can do little mini updates every month. But yeah, so thank you for joining me today. If you could pop maybe down in the comments some of the goals that you have for 2025, maybe your top financial goal, your top health and fitness goal, and maybe your top spiritual or creative goal, maybe your top 5 goals, and just pick some from each category. It'd be really interesting to see what you guys are doing. I love hearing about other people's goals, and start now. Like I started for next year, I've already started like 2 weeks ago. You know, why do I have to wait for January 1st to kick this off? You don't. You can start anytime, and then there's not this big build up and pressure like I need to start this on the 1st of January. Just start today. Whenever you're watching this, if it's December, January, February, just start today. I hope to see you again in January. I would love to do, maybe I'll do a video on how I'm going to do my spiritual Bible reading for the year, and what app I use for that, and how I do that personally. Yeah, and to close out this video, I just want to show you my financial trackers that I have up on my wall, and I've written some Bible quotes on them, and I'm just hoping they keep me focused, inspired, help me to be a good steward, and then help me to balance out, like, I don't want money to become an idol in my life, so that's why I've written the Bible quotes on there. But I will show you that next to close out this video. Okay, so here are my my financial trackers that I have up literally on the wall. So this is right near my entryway, right across from my kitchen. And yeah, they've just got my little financial goals, some of the Bible quotes I've got written on there, and then what I've set and forget, and then places where I can make extra repayments. And you'll see on my mortgage I've already crossed off a couple already. Like I said, just start today. It doesn't have to be 1st of January. Just start whenever you're watching this and just give it a go. But yeah, this is how I'm keeping motivated with my financial goals through 2025. So we'll see what happens. Thank you once again for joining me today. I hope you found this interesting and you've been maybe inspired to look at your own goals and your own spending and your own health habits for 2025. And I will see you again next video. Bye bye.